What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Scarlet Standard, where we talk all things UNLV athletics and the people that are pushing the program forward. Today, I'm sitting down with a guy who hasn't got his moment in spotlight yet, but he's building for it. Darrien Jones is a sophomore running back for UNLV. He came out of Kansas City with over 2,400 all-purpose yards in high school, all Metro honors, and a mindset built on patience and hard work. He redshirted in 2023. Didn't get a lot of snaps last year, but this year he's going to have a breakout season. This dude has been grinding in the shadows and waiting to show what he can do. In this episode, we're going to talk about his journey, what it's like staying ready behind the scenes, the running back room, fall camp, and yeah, just getting a little bit of fun stuff too. Some Kansas City barbecue, Madden ratings, all that kind of stuff. You're going to get to know DJ a little bit differently today. Let's get to it. Let's welcome Darrien Jones. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. How's everything going so far? How's summer? How was spring ball and how's summer ball going?
Spring ball was great for me. I learned a lot about myself. Throughout high school, I had 4 different coaches in 4 years, so the coaching change wasn't much of a struggle for me. And then so far during summer workouts, besides the heat, I've been taking it on pretty well.
Let's start a little bit. What brought you to UNLV initially in 2023 when you were recruited out of Park Hill South in Kansas City?
So at that time, I had sat on all my offers way too long, and I was a late bloomer in high school. I didn't really blow up till my senior year, and I had a few FCS offers and a few PWOs, but I had waited too long. So I was it was either wait for another school to come along or go JUCO. So UNLV hit me like right after the first signing day. Coach Petrino actually texted me while he had the job for a month or so, and that's how the ball started rolling. And then I got to Vegas, and I knew, like, after talking with the staff at that time, I knew that I'd want to play here, and it was that. And then they showed me around the Legion too, and that sold me pretty quick.
What was that like the first time when you walked in there?
I was starstruck. I ain't gonna lie. The lights were definitely bright. I was like, whoa. And playing games in an NFL stadium is, every kid dreams of that. Every high school kid is dreaming of that. And being able to do that in college, that's a step up to me. The first thing I noticed was how soft the turf was. Like, I'm used to playing on some
kind of like a pillow.
And that was crazy to me too. I'm like, yeah, I want to play here.
You kind of know, like, on those high school fields that have turf, it bakes in the sun all day. It sits there all day. It can probably get as hard as concrete, I would assume.
Yeah.
During that whole recruitment time, obviously it was kind of late. What stood out to you during that time? What kind of, like, obviously it was late in your recruitment. You had the coaching change too between Petrino and Marion. What kind of, like, made you stick around at that point instead of taking that either JUCO route or the PWO route?
I was willing to bet on myself mostly. I knew I could play. Like, I knew I was a D1 football player, in my opinion. It's just I felt so strongly about my ability that I decided to stay the course. The JUCO route was an option, but that grind's not for everybody, and I respect all the guys that do it. I think jumping on this opportunity was the best idea for me.
So what in your mind was the toughest adjustment going from high school to D?
Probably say processing like the game while on the field in general. High school, I was able to nobody really looked at it and took it as serious as I did, and being able to like process things and pre-snap reads and all that, and like got to college, and like that's the focal point of everybody's game pretty much. So that was an adjustment because I wasn't able to just outsmart everybody and be one step quicker than everybody in that aspect. And then another thing was probably just the speed. I didn't really get fast till my senior year, and then I realized once I got to college, I'm still not fast. But I've worked on that since I've been here. But yeah, I was part of it too.
What do you think? What do you think you learned from some of the vet guys you played with? Obviously, you came in with Jet Thomas. and you played with guys like Kylan James, who they had smaller school routes and then went to UNLV. What was it like playing with older guys like that? Your 2 years at UNLV.
It was definitely eye opening to see like all the different ways people play running back. I mean, it it and how different people have been coached at other spots in a good way too. It, like one of my guys, Vincent Davis from 2 years ago, he was a smaller guy who played like he was 6'3", 250. I mean, it
Those
there's just
old those were.
yeah, like he was maybe 180 for soaking wet, but I mean he ran like he was 250, and it's just learning little ins and outs that I didn't pick up during high school. And yeah, just from the definitely from the older guys of my freshman year, just the confidence too. Confidence plays a big part in college football, and from what I've learned, and they all had either no matter if they're getting the ball or not, they know they're that guy. That's something that's definitely had taken me some time to establish it myself.
Where do you think your game has most grown since you've arrived at UNLV?
Probably another one would definitely one of them would be my pre-snap reads, especially this year. Coach Q has kind of beaten that into our brains that like you can know where the play is going before it even happens, and it's different in high school, but in college it's like it's because in high school it's not as consistent with the guys around you, but in college, I mean, everyone is on their job and you can really know what's going to happen just based on the alignments and all that. And then another part of my game that's grown since I've been here is just like my open field move set.
Are you talking like this?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
bursting through the hole?
Jumping over guys, stuff like that, and reading like a wide receiver block like that. Yeah, like in high school, I was able to get away with just outrunning people and all that. But I've had to learn how to make people miss, set people up, especially as a bigger guy. I mean, I'm 6'1", 215. Like, you don't really, I mean, making people miss at my size and length isn't exactly what's asked for, but it's something that's unique to my game, and I've been able to put that on display, I feel like.
I feel like we were talking about it a little bit before we hopped on. You were talking about how it's been a little different. You feel this spring. You feel like your time is coming. You did win. What was it? The ace of the week as the spring performer. I think you can't go on. You're not gonna. I think it's your skill is starting to be too hard to hide at this point, and I think everything's gonna come through the way you think it's going to. I think that it's gonna get recognized. All you have to do is just all it takes is one play. And one play, you get that confidence. Next thing you know, you're consistently getting everything that you want and that you need. Let's talk about we hit a little bit on where you think you've grown. What do you think you where do you think your playing style fits in Mullen's system, and where do you think you can exploit that the most?
We have a lot of variety in our running back room. I mean, me and Kevon Lee are the bigger guys in the group, and then we have Jet and Glove, who are also like we have so many guys that can just throw different things at you. I mean, I'm a big guy that can make you miss. Glove is a smaller guy who puts your face in the dirt if you stand in front of him. I mean, and Jet can hit the edge, and next thing you know, he's gone. And then Key kind of just ties it all together. There's so many different things that we all do that I mean, it's going to be impossible to stop. And then for me specifically, I think we are going to have some two back things and stuff like that. And I think I have pretty steady hands out the backfield. So I hope that if we're throwing to the running back, I'm involved in that. And like open field things on like swing routes to the field and stuff like that. That was my bread and butter. And I hope I get to show that in the offense this year too.
Yeah, because if you kind of think about it, obviously it may be tweaked a little bit, his offense, but if you ever looked at back like those Dak Prescott teams that Mullen had, or those Florida teams that he coached, they always have a dynamic back, a power back, those speedsters, and someone who can catch a football. So there's always a little piece that, and just if you have not necessarily to say like a specialty skill set, but like a something that a strength that can pop. It's definitely gonna show. That's for sure. Speaking of the modeling your game potentially after somebody or looking at other backs that played in the system before, are there any backs that as you were coming up, whether it was through high school, your early years of college, that you modeled yourself after?
I guess I could say I've tried to kind of emulate games, not specifically college, but like I watched a lot of Darrien Tomlinson tape. It's crazy. It's me and him share a birthday, and that was kind of the reason I just
That's
started
awesome.
watching a lot of his. And
Do you just go back to his NFL film, or have you ever watched any of his film at TC?
I've watched some of his TCU film. I actually have one of his TCU football card too. But I've watched a lot of his, and there was what's his name?
So you being a Patriots fan with the flag in the background, did you watch any of when they had Dion Lewis or James White?
Not specifically them, but Pierre Strong. I actually visited South Dakota State while he was there, and watching him was one of them too, especially in high school. I tried to kind of emulate some of the things he was doing, especially because I wanted that offer. But that he's a dog too, that I've tried to model my game after. And then guys that I've kind of watched here, like I said, Vincent Davis. The way he made people miss and then also ran through people is something that I want to be too.
Have you watched any of the older backs that UNLV's had, like Charles Williams or any of them play?
Yeah, he came and talked to us my freshman year, and I personally didn't know who he was before I got here, but when I watched his tape, I was like, whoa, and then
He's kind of, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. He's kind of like a cross between like Jet and Kayvon.
yeah,
Like, he was fast through a hole, but he will bulldoze you over at the same time.
I watched some Aiden Robbins too, but I wasn't really too familiar with the history of UNLV football wise, besides like Randall, of course. But I think there was a back before Charles too. I see him on TikTok all the time. I forgot his name, but
I know what you're talking about. I'm drawing a blank on his name too.
I'm drawing a blank. But he every time his highlights randomly come up on my recommended, and I watch a lot of his stuff too.
Speaking of history, what was it kind of like going through the last 2 years, seeing the transform of where UNLV was to what it is today?
It was exciting. It kind of sucks not really being a part of it. Especially last year when I felt like I really could have contributed, but it's hard not to be happy for those guys. I mean, like 11-3. First off, winning 10 games in any conference is hard, but to go 11-3, or was it 11-2?
Yeah, 11-3. I think you were right.
Yeah, 3. I mean, losses to Boise and Syracuse aren't anything to scoff at, and then beating two Big 12 opponents, and then really giving up a game to Syracuse. I mean, that's a historic feat within itself. I mean, it was hard not to walk around with a smile on my face, whether I was on the field or not.
What do you think the atmosphere at Allegiant was like? How did that change? Because the crowd sizes just kept growing and growing and growing.
The difference between year one and year two is crazy. I mean, but towards the end of year one, we had people show up, but they weren't really engaged in the games. Year two, I mean, we had the whole stadium doing the wave and all that. Like before every fourth quarter, they'd play all the way time. Yeah, and then everybody's dancing with us.
Are you guys gonna do something similar again to what you guys did on the field?
I hope they don't take that away from us. That was our fourth quarter boost, and that kept the sideline engaged, kept the sideline in it, and it is just the more you give to the fans, the more they're gonna give to us. So I mean, as much as we can keep them engaged.
I feel like the more you guys won, the more people got engaged, and the more people that showed up and that were engaged, really turned Allegiant into an underrated environment. It is. Those games are loud, and it doesn't feel like it, but it's loud. It can get loud in there. The running back room that you're in now is obviously very competitive with a lot of guys that have transferred from bigger schools like Utah, Mississippi State. What's it like competing with those guys day in and day out?
It's a little different for me. I definitely got to stay on my P's and Q's because as of right now, I'm the only guy who hasn't put any stats on the field. But I feel like there's no doubt in my ability, and I think I kind of earned their respect this spring at least. And it's competitive, but there's a brotherhood within us. It's not petty. There's nobody putting each other down or kind of trying to let one guy slack off or anything like that. We all hold each other to a standard. All 8 of us. I mean, we everybody has the same standard, whether you're rotating with the ones or you're rotating with the threes. It doesn't matter. There's a pretty high standard in the running back room, and I think we all do a good job of keeping everything like it's strictly football, and we all love each other.
And that room has pushed you the most or helped you grow the most so far this spring.
Can I say a coach?
You can say a coach. You can say anything you want.
Coach Q for sure. Before he got here, I was really thinking about leaving. To be honest with you, it got to the point where I had my highlights up on my Twitter. I just wasn't in the portal yet. I sat down with him, and I mean, I think he was going to know anything about me. He had combed through our scrimmages, our practices, and he sat me down and he told me, like, I want you to stay, and I want you to let me work with you because I think you can do something on the field for us. And that's all I needed to hear. I hadn't heard anything like that since I was being recruited. And he just
What did that make you feel like?
Appreciated, wanted. I mean, it's easy for people to sit around and blame the coaches, but like I really took the time to look inward and see what I could have done better. But like, I didn't feel like I was necessarily appreciated last year. And that's the name of the game, right? So to feel
there's those coaches out there. It could be any sport, any school, whatever. I'm not pinpointing anybody. That they have what they have in their mind, and it plays out that way. And that could be any sport. How many times it happened in basketball, football, baseball, whatever it may be. So I'm not trying to say that you're doing that. No, you're not. But it feels great having that feeling of that one coach or one person, whether it's a teammate or somebody that believes in you and they know that they can get the best out of you, and they just want truly what's good for you. And that's what, like how you said, that's the biggest thing, and all it takes is one.
That's all it takes.
And when you have that, it just gives you that like extra push every day. I feel like
I felt the gear shift in me that I hadn't felt in a long time. I feel like it showed in the spring, especially during our scrimmage sessions. And he's somebody who's been able to push me and get me out of my comfort zone and kind of open up back to loving football again, feeling like I'm doing something I love and not coming to a job. That's been all the change I've needed so far.
What do you think makes this team or this locker room different than teams you've been around before?
Just the amount of talent that we have. If you ask me personally, I think we have great individual talent, probably the best we've had out of the 3 years. We just need to come together, and that just comes with time, that just comes with time.
Let's get off the football and team stuff a little bit. Let's talk about you. I've only been to Kansas City once. It was fun. If I'm being honest, I went there because my wife wanted to go see Justin Bieber. So, so we drove from Dallas to Kansas City, and when we went to the concert and we explored the next day. Is Kansas City barbecue really as good as what everybody says it is?
Yes, and whoever tells you it's not is lying to you.
Is it better than Texas barbecue?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the most? I guess I don't know how you can take this. You can think about this for a second. What's the most Kansas City thing about you?
Probably say my music taste, because I mean Kansas City doesn't really have like a whole bunch of artists right now. Like everybody from Kansas City, they listen to everything from across the country. Usually, like out here, when I meet people from Vegas, they listen to a lot of West Coast music, don't really mess with the East Coast, or vice versa. But like Kansas City, it's a melting pot for real. So I listen to everything, and people kind of look at me crazy for it, but like that's just what it is. Like,
You know what? Sometimes you got to put people on to new music and new things.
and other than that, probably I have a Kansas City tattoo. So that's I have the skyline tattooed. So that's probably another thing.
I have the Vegas sign tattooed on my arm and the skyline tattooed on my ribs, so I'm right there with you. What's one food that everybody raves about but you just can't get on? Because I will say, like, when I lived, I'll use an example. When I lived in Dallas, it was always the In-N-Out Whataburger thing.
I I can't stand In-N-Out. I can't. I've had food poisoning twice from In-N-Out. I can't stand it. I am not a fan. I never will be a fan. Anytime anyone mentions In-N-Out to me, I shake my head no.
You know, that's no there. Everybody has that like place or two that like someone brings up. You're like, yeah, no, I'd rather go home. Yeah, no, I'd rather go somewhere else.
Jack in the Box is one of them too.
If I'll be completely honest, I don't think I've ever eaten Jack in the Box sober. So I don't know how it like every time I feel like I've ever eaten Jack in the Box, I've always been door dashing it to my house, just getting some tacos, or I'm in a drive-through with somebody else driving the car, and next thing you know,
I will say though, they have great ice cream. Great ice cream. I was surprised. Like their shakes are really good, but other than that,
what would you say your favorite spot to eat is since you moved out here?
Shout out Lefty J's. Lefty J's is one of them. And Volcano Grill.
Volcano Grill is good.
I love Volcano Grill.
It's very, for the people that don't know, it's very similar to like a teriyaki madness in a sense. If you've had teriyaki madness before.
Yeah, that Volcano Rito, with the yum yum sauce, that's probably that's life changing. And Lefty J's, they rock with our football team so heavy, it's crazy. And then
Barcode rocks pretty heavy with UNLV also.
I've been to Barcode a few times.
But their burgers are good.
Yeah, I like Barcode too. I haven't been as much as I should have been, but like I can't be eating the burger all the time. So that is what it is.
Yeah, but everybody has that guilty pleasure too, right? Like, what would you say your guilty pleasure is?
I hope the coaches aren't listening, but McDonald's. McDonald's.
Aiden said the same thing.
They know me by name in there. I walked in the other day. One of the managers looked back in the kitchen and said, "Everybody say hey to DJ. Hey DJ." I'm like, goodness gracious.
You go to that one right by campus?
The one right on campus. By both the chevrons and across the chevrons. Yeah, that's the one. It's bad. It's bad. But I can't, like, the McDonald's breakfast, hot cakes, McGriddles, those have been my thing since I was a kid. So like,
nothing beats a McDonald's hash brown and like a McMuffin in the morning.
It's great. It's great. McDonald's breakfast is slept on, but that's just my opinion. I was actually there yesterday, but
So you didn't go today, is what you're saying?
I didn't go today. I took the day off, but they'll probably see my face Wednesday.
So I will ask, what does that rewards points app look like for you? How much free stuff do you got on there?
I will say I use my points a lot, so it's not as loaded up as you might think. I think I have like 5,000 points right now. I don't know if I should use it on the large fries or not, but I use my points a lot. But if I didn't, I'd probably easily have 500,000 or so. I mean, it's bad. It's bad.
So we'll do this. I'm gonna ask you something fun. You get to plan a full day in Vegas. You have no football, no school. What are you doing?
What am I doing? A lot of the guys have been going ATV riding. I want to do that. I want to do that. And then
Have you gone jet skiing with Donovan yet?
nah, I haven't. I actually just got a tattoo. They went this weekend, and I just got a tattoo, and I can't go. I was so mad, but like I like my tattoos, and I don't want them to fade, so I couldn't do it. But that zip line that goes through Fremont, I wanted to try that just cause. So we got the ATVs, hit that zip line. This is a whole day thing. Probably go to Volcano Grill, and then I want to
McDonald's. That's the real question. Or are you gonna go? Are you gonna go somewhere like Blueberry Hill or IHOP?
McDonald's for breakfast. If this is the perfect day, McDonald's for breakfast, then the ATVs, then the zip line, and then I never got to do the helicopter ride. I didn't get that on my visit, so and I've never done it. So I'd want to do the helicopter ride through the strip at night, and then I don't know, probably I'm sure there's some great clubs. I just turned 21, so I'm sure there's something fun out there.
What was your visit like? Take us through that. What did they do? Did they walk? Obviously, you mentioned Allegiant, but did they take you down the strip at all? Did they take you any places? What kind of whining and dining did they do?
They took me to a steakhouse. It was good. It was really good. Other than that, my visit kind of sucked. The players that were hosting me, I got dropped off at their crib. We were chilling, and then they went to a party and left me. So I was like, dang, well, what am I supposed to do? So I just ended up going back to my hotel. I mean, other than that, like they gave me tour of the facilities, all that. Got to take pictures. It was kind of it was basic, but I mean it was a good visit. Got me to commit, so that was all that was needed.
Let's go back to the football side a little bit. What is your expectations for yourself for this upcoming season?
My statistical expectations.
It can be anything. It doesn't have to be stats. It can be, being a higher contributor, being, something on that line. It doesn't have to be what is your goals?
For starters, one of them is to be on the field. I mean, like I was in the same position last year. I thought I was getting told I was going to be a contributor. I want it to actually happen this year. So that's number one. Yeah, I did have a statistical goal. I wanted 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. That was my statistical goal. And then third is just to love football again. Because I mean, one bad experience with coaches can really rip that from you. And I'm getting it back already. So I think just the cherry on top will be me finally getting to showcase my talent on the field, and it's all right back to me again.
When you score that first touchdown, what's it going to be like? What's that touchdown dance going to be like?
I might cry, dog. I'll be honest. I might shed a tear. Hopefully it's a game that my pops is there. I was a huge Cam Newton fan growing up. I wore number 1. I got told I looked like Cam Newton, etc. And I've been hitting the Superman celebration for about 15 years now, something like that. Not 15, I'm lying, but close to it. Probably about 12. Whenever he was on the Panthers, and that's my go-to, and it's gonna be emotional. A tear might come out my eye.
I will say, so when I was talking about to Caden McGee, when he scored his first touchdown in the bowl game, he told me that when he found out that he was gonna get playing time, when he found out Ricky wasn't gonna play, that he was practicing his touchdown dances in his hotel room. So that's why I thought I would ask, because obviously, you have that first one, and obviously the first one is going to be most memorable for anybody.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to admit to it at first, but then he did. But I'll ask you, other than your Superman, do you practice any other touchdown dances if you have the chance?
But yeah, in high school, I was scoring a lot. I was in the mirror thinking of dang, what should I hit today? What's gonna look like a great moment? I had a friend that passed away in high school, but we watched a lot of the same shows, and I had written on my shirt rest in peace, his last name. And I hit one of the poses that they do in the show a lot. And there was a sick picture of me doing that. And I had worked on it. I had worked on like how I'm gonna have the shirt hanging out and like how am I gonna straighten it out. And it was like there's a process to it. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. Caden, I know you be practicing your stuff too, so you ain't gotta hide it. But like,
do you think, because we kind of talked about, me and him kind of talked about too, like, do you think those guys, like the Seattle Seahawks guys, how long do you think they took to choreograph those touchdown dances?
I bet they spend an hour a day. I guarantee you they spend an hour a day. And I mean, no, I wouldn't have any shame in it. I mean, that's team bonding, that's getting close with your brothers. And then if you putting up numbers like that to where you can coordinate a touchdown dance, you're doing something right.
What's crazy is like it seemed like it was like I can't remember the specific guys that were in it, but it was always like a receiver and a couple linemen, and they just like were perfectly choreographed every time to the point that they knew exactly where the camera was so they could get the right shot so they can go viral.
There's a couple like times in high school where I'm like, I know this play's about to hit, and I'm scanning the back of our end zone for our cameraman. I'm like, all right, he's right there. I know exactly where I'm gonna look.
I could definitely see people doing that. You know, those players like the wide receivers, the running backs that have those clear visions in front of them. Like, all right, I know this. I know I'm hitting that gap right there. I'm splitting that hole and I'm scoring a touchdown. What would you say is a hidden talent that you have?
Hidden talent.
Obviously, besides for football, football is a great talent to have.
I guess one of them is that like I'm oddly good at every video game that I play. Now, I'm not the best, but like I could hop on a new game right now and I'd probably be better than you by the end of the time we're playing. It's like I've been gaming for so long and I play so many weird.
What's your guilty pleasure game that you play all the time?
Right now, it's Marvel Rivals. Been playing that a lot. One that people don't really know about. There's this mobile game called Moco, and I've been playing that nonstop for like a month and a half, and it's not even fully out yet. It's still in beta, but like yeah, one of them would probably be like I pick up video games really fast.
Yeah, there's been I feel like a lot of you guys that I've talked to, all of you guys game, and whether it's Call of Duty or Marvel or playing NCAA 26. Like I talked to Al Green, one of the basketball players. He just transferred to UNLV from Louisiana Tech, and he said that him and his teammates play Fortnite like every day after practice. they're just really big gamers. Like, I feel like the crazy thing is, I could be wrong, but a lot of the guys that I've talked to that have come in to UNLV from, they like to go to the facility. They like to go to practice, take their stuff, go to the facility, and just chill at home. They don't like to do a lot of crazy stuff. And a lot of them just, they like their games. They like their, like Marcel likes his comic books. Like, they all have some interesting things. And that's what makes you guys you. And it's great. So one of the unique things I'm going to ask is I've started asking you guys this last couple I've talked to. NIL is obviously a big thing right now. And if you could have one unique NIL deal, what would it be?
To be honest with you, I'd want an NIL deal with, I don't know how unique this is, but with either Sony or Microsoft. I'd love to be a PlayStation ambassador, Xbox ambassador, either one. I love video games enough to, I don't care which team.
I don't think that's weird or not unique. I think it was Al said that he wanted his own Fortnite character. Marcel said that he wanted his own comic book line. So, it could be anything. And people think like who was it? Was it Donovan? I think it was Donovan Spellman. He said he wanted to have his own candy from Sour Patch. Just like how Shaq has those gummies that they sell at 7-Eleven. He wanted candy. So it could be anything. Wanting to be a PlayStation ambassador, that's actually pretty awesome. because it kind of gives you a broad, like, I can do anything. I could be in this game. I could promote this game. I can promote this game.
Especially the exclusive games that come out. I'd love to be a part of that. Maybe a voice acting role. Who knows? I'd do it all.
What's one show or movie that you've watched way too many times?
One movie that I've watched probably way too many times is Revenge of the Sith.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Or just show in general, Naruto. I've probably rewatched Naruto in its entirety 4 or 5 times, all 1,500 episodes. And yeah, I mean, that got me through COVID. That's something I'll turn on as background noise. That's one of my all-time favorites. I even got it. I've worn it around my neck for 5 years now. So I mean, that's my guilty pleasure show, to be honest.
We'll end this little part with this. What's your go-to hype music before a game?
I have a pregame playlist, but one of my favorite songs is this song called Usurper by Nexaker and the Villains. And I think that's how you say his name. But like, I'm a huge WWE fan, and it's kind of like a WWE song-ish, but it's not officially one. And I before every scrimmage, that song had to play. Before every even when I was in traveling to games last year, thinking I was gonna play, that song was like my hype up. Like, all right, let's do it. And like WWE music in general is a great hype up to me.
You put in the work, you waited your turn. Hopefully now the opportunity is there. What do you hope, or what do you want UNLV fans to remember about you by the end of the season?
True.
I know, just by talking to you, I'm gonna remember when you score that first touchdown and you do the Superman.
Yeah, shoot. One thing I want UNLV fans to remember after the end of the season is I got 3 more years left. Yeah, hopefully if I have the season that I want to have, y'all in great hands for the next 2. So you ain't gotta worry about me.
In 2025, UNLV will be what?
Record-wise?
What's your prediction? In 2025, UNLV will be what?
12th seed in the playoffs.
Mountain West champions?
Mountain West champions, playoff seed, and we played in January.
Darrien, it was great to have you on. I appreciate you doing this. Yeah, I've seen enough film on you that I hope that you get that opportunity. And I can't wait to watch you this year. I'll be at every game. I'm not media. I'm not going to be on the sideline, but I'll be there. I have season tickets on there every home game. I can't wait to watch you ball out and show everybody, especially Rebel Nation, who you really are.
Me too.
Thanks again for hopping on. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you, guys.